Okay, with Sandeep Abraham, Home Swiss Home is the feature film. It's a comedy. Played at the Wild Sound Festival. Interesting film. Kind of a fish out of water, kind of Swiss feel and vibe. Are you from originally from Switzerland?
Yes, I was born and raised in Switzerland. I have Indian origin, but I'm living in Switzerland.
Because I know that they don't let many people in in Switzerland.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
no immigration policy, I guess, right? In Switzerland.
yeah, that's true. That they got a bit extremer, but the Swiss folk are normally quite nice.
No, I was there. It's amazing. Actually, I think I was in the some of the areas where you shot the film back when I backpacked through Europe back in the day. It's an
Okay.
amazing country. It's so beautiful. You can't I can't say nothing more positive about it from the aesthetic standpoint. So tell me about this particular. First of all, tell me about the Swiss film industry. I don't know much about it. Is there a vibrant industry? Is there like is there films that they make that get distributed that people go to the theater? Like, how is the vibe in Switzerland in terms of film?
Yeah, there is a Swiss film industry here. It's not quite big, so as soon as you're part of the industry, you know already all kinds of people who are working
Okay,
there. Um, we work a lot with Germany and France, so there are a lot of co-productions going on here. But there is an industry. We produce own feature films which are shown in the cinemas, also on Netflix. There's like a Netflix DACH, that's Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So we kind of work together.
gotcha. And to jump on that, everybody speaks more like a few languages. Generally speaking, in Switzerland, they speak German, they speak English, they speak French. Like what? Like there's multiple. Like, how many languages do you speak?
I know six languages,
Like you
uh,
can speak six languages fluently.
four fluently and two with an accent.
Okay,
But
so what? So English, German. What could you do fluently?
yeah, German, Swiss German, English, French, Spanish, and Italian.
Gotcha. And Spanish and Italian are kind of similar
Yeah.
in French and in those three languages. Kind of like if you
Yeah,
can learn how to speak French, you can generally figure out how to speak those Spanish and Italian. So
that's
that's
true.
amazing because that was my when I watched your film, it was like a fish out of water story. That was my insecurity when I was in Switzerland. Where like I only know English. I only know how
Mhm.
to speak English, and everybody's going in you can see the dialogue. It's people are jumping into multiple languages, and I felt very insecure
Yeah.
when I was there because it's just amazing how you could just know so much language.
Yeah, that's also one problem that we have in the industry that there are regions in Switzerland where you, for example, only speak German or only speak French.
Yeah.
So you need to do the film in at least three languages so that that all of the people can watch your movie.
This is the kind of the what was the concept? So you're the director of the film. Is it Geert? He's the one who wrote, kind of came up with the concept. Like, what's your relationship with him? Like, do you guys have a long history together?
Well, Geert came to me 5 years ago. He's actually working in the pharma industry, not in the film industry.
Okay.
He's just quite interested and wrote this story like maybe 8 years ago. But he needed help to develop the story to a screenplay. And so we sat together, wrote the story together, and tried to figure out how to get his vision into the movie. And that was a process that almost needed 2 years.
Okay.
And yeah, after that, since I have a own film production company, we were able to shoot the whole thing without big costs.
So the film is about this guy trying to integrating himself in the Swiss kind of culture while trying to win back the girl, I guess, right?
Yes, exactly.
And with the comedic tone. So it's a pure comedy, romantic comedy, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
And so you basically saw it was the entire film was shot in Switzerland.
Yeah, it was all shot in Switzerland. Some parts were shot in Zurich, where we tried to tried to fake New York. And the other thing was all in Graubünden in Interlaken. That's those common places that people know from the Bollywood movies, for example, which are just like showcasing the Swiss mountains.
So yeah, so I was in Interlaken,
Yeah.
yeah, for about a week, and went up in the mountains. I did some canyoning, which is
Mhm.
crazy. And yeah, so you're really showcasing the aesthetic of Switzerland like in the film, right? So like the
Yeah,
beauty of it.
yeah, that was my goal as a DP that we want to show this contrast. New York is more like a bit, um, it's a living city. It's a bit more blue and dark, and we only shot everything with the easy rig, so it has a bit of a shaky
Mhm.
feeling. And everything else in Switzerland there, we wanted to show that it's calm, it's peaceful, and that's why we shot there everything with a tripod and want to um, also focus more on the landscapes.
So tell me about so tell yeah, and you achieved that goal because there's like a different contrast, like as you described it in the film. So did you guys have like a set shot list together, or did you guys have like a storyboard? How did you guys kind of like pull the film together from the cinematic standpoint?
Yeah, as soon as we had the screenplay done, we sat together with the AD and wrote down the a shot list. For the storyboard, it was a bit since we didn't have a lot of budget, we went there to Burgund, to the city, and had maybe 2 or 3 days time to do like location scouting. And the storyboard was just like um, was more or less a draft. We knew that where are the good parts of the mountains, but we didn't have like a storyboard which was already quite accurate. We had to figure it out there, which was the best spot to film.
Gotcha. And then this was kind of sort of like run and gun. This was kind of a low budget film, right?
Exactly. We only had in total maybe 20,000 Swiss francs. Um, but that's including the distribution to the through Film Freeway to the festivals and everything else.
And so tell me about were you involved in the casting? Because obviously Mike and Martina are very important characters, especially Mike. He's like almost in every scene. So tell
Yeah.
me about the finding the actor for that role.
Well, we have a casting director who already knew like some of those peoples, the actresses, and she had organized like a small e-casting where they read a few lines. And when we first met Mike on the video call, we initially knew that he's the one. He had already this kind of a comedic style that Geert loved and
Mhm.
Geert wanted to have in his vision. And it was actually a no-brainer. As soon as we saw Mike, we JC Williams, we knew that we needed him.
So JC Williams, so he auditioned on like a Zoom call, like did like a Zoom audition.
Yeah, we did a Zoom call. He already knew Gerd from a local film group where they
Okay.
met once every half year. Um, but JC Williams is from Canada. He used to work as an actor there, and because of his wife, he moved to Switzerland. So he
Oh,
was
okay, gotcha.
trying to find like the film scene here.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. That was my next question. So he basically he's a citizen by marriage, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so basically now he lives in Switzerland. So yeah, so
Mhm.
but he still has the North American kind of vibe. You kind of needed that. I was wondering if you like flew somebody in to play the role.
No, that would be too expensive, unfortunately. But since he's from the States, from Canada, he already had this, like you mentioned, this American vibe.
Yeah. And then what about the rest of the cast? Everybody was kind of like local.
Yeah, everybody's local. Melina, she's also Swiss, who played the actress, but she lives in Germany, and Germany is just like maybe 3 hours by train away from Switzerland.
Gotcha. Yeah, so JC's from Burlington, so basically that's about an hour from where I live. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
or when I even when like Niagara Falls like area, kind of like where I grew up. So basically, so I'm very familiar with with where you grew up. So yeah, so that's really cool. So then well, like in terms of how many days did you guys shoot was the shoot?
I think in total we had 16 shooting days.
Okay.
There were
Wow. Okay.
some, yeah, there were a lot, but some of them were just like for only small scenes. For example, there was this one part in the script where Geert wrote that it's forbidden to say a poet while skiing down the mountain. And for this scene, we needed to shoot something in the winter in the skiing Alps.
Gotcha.
So for like 20 seconds, we needed to have had an additional shooting day.
Gotcha. Because you needed because like you figured it out. So and it's a pretty big cast of characters coming in and out. Like that it must have been it's a from a producer standpoint, it must have been pretty it's a pretty ambitious 16 days, pretty ambitious project.
Yeah.
Was there any like obstacles, like any kind of major conflicts along the way? I'm assuming there was a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there were some, for example, we have a lot of small cameo roles, and since there wasn't a big budget, we also talked to friends if they wanted to participate, and some of them aren't in the film field and didn't know how important it is to be on time. And so we had like these kinds of issues that we needed to um, try to keep the continuity and to have the same people appearing in the next scene as well,
Mhm.
and explaining that to non to people who are not in the film scene how important it is to do like the same thing again. That was a bit complicated. And then there was this part where we shot everything in Burgoon in the village. And since that is a bit far away, we needed to um, live there for a week and shot everything there. So we rented a big house, and all of the cast and the crew slept in one place.
Gotcha. And then the I guess one of the big locations is the hotel, I guess, right? Like you had the where did you go? Where did you shoot that?
Yeah, that was this town called Burgoon. It's really small. I think they only have 150 people, villagers living there. And yeah, we just, for example, realized that there isn't any pedestrian road over there, so we had to create one as well.
Okay. And then everybody just kind of like and then the terms of the filming and the like hey, you just found some found a place and they were like happy because it's a town of 150 people and you're shooting a film. They must have been somewhat excited.
Yeah, they were excited. I mean, I already knew them because I did a commercial in Bagun.
Okay.
And so I knew the city president, and he was quite easygoing and told us to do whatever we want and gave us the film permit. And so it was quite comfortable to work there.
And so basically, so then in post production, were you involved in post production?
Yes, as well.
And so
I
how would
was
like go ahead.
I was the head of production and did like the edit together with another cutter.
Okay.
And then I did as well the color grading.
The color correction. So well, you're the DP, I guess, right? So in the producer. So basically in terms of like post production, did you like you said you had to go back and do the one scene? It's 72 minutes long. Was that the set time that you wanted it to be? You want it to be around 70 minutes?
No, to be honest, the original idea was to shoot a short film.
Okay.
And
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, and then when we I think Gert thought that the film would be around 30 minutes, 35.
Okay.
And when we saw um, the first rough cut, we saw that the film is going to be around 59 minutes. So that's a real shitty time for festivals because it's
Mhm.
not short film, it's also not a feature film. And that's why Gert wrote another additional few lines, so we were able to have a future length.
Gotcha. So it was so that just because it was you're kind of in the gray area, I guess, right? It's like too long for a
Yeah,
short and too short for a feature.
exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. So then, but you had footage though. You had enough footage for sure to make a feature.
Well, we had
You
enough
had the
foot.
coverage.
Yeah, we had the coverage, but it felt like that if we just add more shots in the film, it's gonna feel a bit placed, and there's something missing, and that's why we added some parts of the story as well. For example, the whole dog scene that was filmed additionally. That JC needs a dog permit to pet a dog.
Gotcha. And did you want to not giving the film away, but did you want a happy ending?
Um, yeah, but more because um, we were thinking about doing a second version as well from the film. Like
Okay.
I'm not sure what the term is, but
Alternative ending.
not an alternative ending, but like a second feature about JC.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, so a sequel.
A sequel, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were thinking about doing a sequel, so we want to have like a happy ending for the first one and maybe start the sequel with the breakup, for example, between the two characters.
Oh, really? That's upsetting.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're still talking about it there. We sent the film to the Swiss Film Federation, and they quite liked the movie, and we're talking about doing maybe something like a TV show
Oh,
about
okay.
it. They had the feeling that we can maybe do this kind of a story with a series would be better, so that we can also add other um, Swiss Swiss landscapes and but also those Swiss culture things in the movie.
Yeah. And there's something about the train station. It's almost kind of like a tribute to past romantic comedies in a sense, but like there's always something like romantic about a train station, I guess, like the platform.
Yeah, that's true. It has something. It has like it also gave us like this vintage feeling to have this old train station train coming in, and um, I mean, I always remember seeing this train station with the lovers looking at each other between the window and saying goodbye. So it always had something romantic for me as well. And I think for Gert as well, that's why he wanted to have it in the train station.
It seems like your actor JC, the way you described it. I don't know obviously the whole story, but he he's a transplant and then he fell in love and then basically then he stays in Switzerland, kind of like your character in the film.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I mean, it's basically his story, and also the way that Mike is. That's practically JC. He has this type of humor. He's also a bit clumsy and talks this way to his friends. So he's actually playing himself.
So yeah, for Switzerland, it's like it's almost like a tribute to Switzerland. I can see why they like your film because it's well, there's a beginning, middle, and end story. It's a nicely performed, but it's also a tribute to Switzerland, right? Like it's like a love story about Switzerland. And the funny thing is that it's a European country, and it's probably the least known European country, if I can fair to say,
Mhm.
in the world, right? Because all we know is that you can go there for good banking, and you got chocolate. I'm totally jumping on the cliche, right? But but and there's beautiful skiing, right? So basically, but and basically you're neutral. I guess it's like that's the Western cliche, right? What are you,
Yeah,
Switzerland? If you don't, nobody's got a point of view. They say you're Switzerland.
that's true. I mean, that's also why we want to play as well with the cliches. People know that Swiss love cheese, and that's why instead of Melina, when she has like this breakup scene, you usually see people in the movies who are girls in the movies who are eating ice cream if they're dealing with breakup.
Yeah,
We want to have her eating fondue and eating cheese. So it's we were always pushing those cliches, and some Swiss people find it funny, some didn't like it.
yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's part of the. I mean, it's part. Some parts are true. That's why people know these cliches.
It's like she, if she was Canadian, like I'm Canadian, she'd be like eating maple syrup and saying A,
Yeah,
right? But yeah, I would
exactly.
find that a little bit offensive, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that's more my issue than the issue that basically of that cliche, right? Because you're playing up the comedy, right? So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
And
but
I
yeah,
mean, we
so
also need to provocate a little bit that it gets the attention and people talk about it if it's really true or not. So we start the discussion that way.
yeah, 100%. So then you're told me before the podcast that you're in the midst of doing the second another feature.
Yeah, we were that was the initial idea to do like a second feature of Home Sweet Home. Um, but now we're talking with the Swiss films about doing a TV series about it.
Okay,
Uh, I'm working now on another feature. It's actually a book adaptation, and it's more like it's not a comedy. It's more dark, and it's about um, how do you call it? Uh, how a 14-year-old girl got uh, sexual violated by her father. It's a true story.
okay,
It's quite dark, but I met the author, and it happened to her.
okay,
She's now 88 and wrote this book 40 years ago. It was a bestseller, and a lot of Swiss people know about the story.
okay.
And since she's 88, she saw Home Sweet Home. She loved the movie and asked me if I wanted to do the film adaptation of the book before she dies.
Oh wow. So what's your role in the film?
There I would be probably only DP or director. I'm working right now with some writers for the screenplay,
Okay.
and then we're gonna have a look with in which kind of direction the film is going.
Gotcha. Well, I wish you best of luck. I love to see the film eventually. And yeah, it was great talking to you. It's like I said, like it's there's a nice little tone, nice tone to it, nicely performed. Mike is a 90, what sorry, JC, the guy playing Mike, is a 98% of the film. He carries the film and I'm sure he was happy that you turned it into a feature film. One would assume.
Yeah, that's
And
true. We just recently had the screening for crew and cast, and everybody loved it, and especially seeing it after 5 years, it was yeah, amazing to see the emotions of the people.
all right, man. Well, congratulations. Good luck with the television show if it gets made into a TV show, and good luck with the next project. So tone wise, it's a completely different film. So I love to see what you do with that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.